Shalom. Koholo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name is Barad Debal, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. Especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Today, came across a video and actually pulled up an article thereafter, which you see in front of you. It's like take over Gaza. Trump says the U.S. will take over Gaza and relocate its people. What does it mean? And so this is, of course, by NPR. And again, since January 20th and coming into office, there's been a lot of moving pieces. A lot going on within the states, and looks like it's moving its way outside. Of course, Trump made statements that he was going to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. He's also been back and forth with Canada and Mexico as far as dealing with tariffs, telling Mexico to bring forth, I guess that they are now going to bring 10,000 troops to the border. To stop the cartel and a slew of other things. Also working with, as far as China, bringing in, stopping them to bring in the fentanyl. So as it seems, to many others, is that things are moving in a positive direction. When I say many others, it's mainly the good old boys, the so-called white men of America, and maybe even women, but the MAGA, because the whole point that he's pushing is to make America great again. But yet, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, has stated that there is no healing for Babylon. Okay, this place is too far gone. However, they take pride in the, that this is the year where they will reach the pinnacle or the top of 250 years. And our apostles and elders have brought out already that just like many others, that many kingdoms, make it up to about 250 and then they fall. But in any case, here's a new thing, or something that, he has decided. Since Trump said that he will take over Gaza and relocate its people. What does it mean? Okay, hopefully, again, it's edifying. I have a few scriptures that I'm going to use and bring out things that we've heard, that you may have heard before. I'm sure you've heard before, but for those who are new, we'll get more of understanding as to how the Lord is tying the prophecies and the scriptures to a certain man. This is Tel Aviv, Israel. President Trump floated two bombshell ideas Tuesday about Gaza that has Palestinians, Israelis, and the wider Middle East scrambling. The first, the U.S. would take over the territory. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, Trump said in a White House press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We'll own it. We have an opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. The Riviera of the Middle East. And so, of course, that the Gaza, they've been fighting, and actually I pulled up something that the so-called Jews, they are so-called, because again, when the scripture speaks, when the true people are in the land, they won't study war anymore. There wouldn't be any fighting. And again, as you can see now, America, which, it's also been shown that, they've been the military force for Israel. And so anything that Israel needs to be done, militarily, United States, does a lot of backing. They also do a lot of sending billions and billions of dollars over to that land as well, and to that people. But this is something that I found in 2023, Israel-Hamas war. It says overview, the Gaza war has been fought between Israel and Hamas-led Palestine military groups in the Gaza Strip and Israel since 7th of October 2023. It is the fifth since 2008 in Gaza. Read this down here. The conflict between Gaza and Israel says the Gaza-Israel conflict is a localized part of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict beginning in 1984. And again, that's why you hear a lot of times you may hear brothers talk about the 48ers because they came in and they established themselves in the land. And of course, trying to make, that to be the prophecy. It says when about 100,000 of the more than 700,000 Palestinians who fled and were expelled from their homes settled in the Gaza Strip as refugees. So there was a fight and they settled, but now it's been a time since 23 that they've been fighting and shooting over in that land to get rid of those people. So let me go back to this really quick. So I'll read a little bit more. It says the second that Gaza's entire population would relocate to other countries. Does that sounds like what they've been doing here in the Americas? Okay, so it's the same MO. It says we should go to other countries of interest with the humanitarian hearts, and there are many of them that want to do this and build various domains that will ultimately be occupied by 1.8 million Palestinians living in Gaza, ending the death and destruction and, frankly, bad luck, he said. So, of course, it sounds good, but yet there's always a deceitful motive. Let me get this really quick. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 26. Let me get the full chapter really quick and just read a couple verses up. 26 verses 24. It says, he that hateth dissembleth with his lips and layeth up deceit with him. So he that hateth, he's always finding a way to disguise and mask, what his true intents. It says, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there is 7 abominations in his heart. So when he's dealing with the people, and he's talking about how it's just going to be a wonderful thing, for the moving of people, there's always going to be somebody, which will be the people that he's going to go after, which in this case, the Palestinians will be greatly affected. They're going to be displaced and moved from out of their homes. It says, whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be shewed before the whole congregation. And as you can see, pretty soon, it'll be, when they go over there and it seems to be peacefully, but yet it's going to be war and more violence. Okay. It says Trump presented no specifics about how the U.S. would execute his proposal. See? So, they're speaking is like, hey, we're going to go over here and we're going to make these, we're going to take over this war, and we're gonna move things and make it speaking peaceably. But you on the side, they're mainly on the side of Israel, these Israelis, and you know what they want? They want that land. Since they have met fierce resistance from Arab and Palestinian leaders who have long hoped Gaza and the West Bank would form a basis for the future stage of alongside Israel. So there's now bringing more tension amongst the other nations and the allies, by them going in, who, this is just going to bring more tension amongst the other nations that are in that area. Because again, if you're going to go and colonize or take over this land, then it's like how much more those when you decide you want to take more. And that, will make the other nations, of course, they're looking at that and they're seeing it. It says Hamas has also rejected the idea as it prepares this week to negotiate with Israel on the next phase of their tenuous ceasefire agreement in Gaza. It says, and Gaza had been pummeled. They were getting pummeled, by missiles, and they showed the land, and they said it pretty much looks like, it's just buildings destroyed all over the place. And brother posted and said that it had been said that Trump was actually looking at making it a beachfront. So of course, it's not even for a great gain of the people, but for themselves. It says the two sides have been exchanging hostages and prisoners after a 15-month war in the that has traumatized both societies and left much of Gaza a wasteland. And Trump's statement added more uncertainty to the future of Gaza and the ceasefire, because they know that that the people of Gaza, are going to be even more greatly affected now that they've been weakened as such, and now U.S. is going to bring troops. So this is just something that we're keeping our eye on, because again, we know there's going to be that great world's war, and we know that the scriptures talk about the least of the flock being these so-called Jews, will draw out, Babylon into this world's war. And so these are just little pockets of tension and things that are going on. This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10. It says, "The thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy." It says, "I come that they may have life and have it, and they may have it more abundantly." So we know that the MO, their whole motive, is to come to steal a land, to kill and destroy. They've done it to the native tribes here in the Americas. You've seen the so-called blacks who were stolen from another land and brought over here to the Americas. And you've seen that ever since there's been nothing but death and bloodshed by the hand of these people. And so it's hard to, it's not even hard, to see that if that's their whole makeup and that's what they do, that everything else that goes behind them is death and bloodshed as well. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man." So, these philosophies and different doctrines, he's standing up before the people, telling them one thing, and he does something totally different, right? Got people believing in, the messages in which they push. He becomes very proud because the people believe him. And it's the same thing over and over. He says he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. So as you can see, where is he at? With all the turmoil, the roads jacked up, the planes crashing, the complete violence that's going on here in the Americas. Just woke up this morning to a mass shooting on TV, the mass employments and or layoffs, the taking of EBT and TANF and subsidies, all these things that's going on. Yet he neither keepeth at home. He's in someone else's land and other places talking about taking and occupying. It says, who enlarges his desire is hell and is as death. Because everywhere he goes to heap and take on everything. But what follows behind, when he goes with his philosophies, his doctrines, and he goes to set up places, he brings McDonald's and Burger Kings and banks and different things into these lands. And before you know it, the women who were once covered up and in a very submissive state to their husband, now they uncovering themselves and they twerking and asserting themselves over the man. Just an example, of how when they move in different places, how the things change. You have the same sex philosophy and doctrine starts to be pushed in these different lands, and that comes along with them as well. It says, "It cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people." So even when he receives that, it's going to be what's next. right? So that's why I said when we read in that how the other nations are seeing it, and in the surrounding countries, around there is like, hey, once this is done, we know that the next thing is to continue to take something else. He's been pushing and talking about the Panama Canal as well, how it's been occupied by China and how he wants to get that back. And so that's just the thing of Esau Edom. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, or chapter 10, or Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And so because of all the unrighteous dealings, the sin, the hurting of the children of Israel, all the things that has gone on, the prophets are now, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the prophets are now uncovering, the secrets of Esau Edom. And pretty soon, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to sit them down, take them down, and where we could all eventually, all meaning you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, starting with the elect, can live righteously. Okay. Let's see if we get one more scripture. I've been bringing this one out quite a bit. This is the book of Second Thessalonians. Let's get the full chapter. I'm just going to only read verses this is verse 7. He says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. So even at the time of Paul was writing this, you had the Romans. And again, we have this, what we say, this is Rome 2.0. They're bringing back that Roman, and they're bringing it back at a greater level. It says the mysteries of iniquity doeth already work. So they was ruling, at that time. It says, only he who now will let until he be taken out of the way. And so that's what's going on now today. Now that they're in their power seat, the rulership here in these last days, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is going to let him continue to move and do these things, because we have a few more prophecies to come to pass. The two major ones, the World War III and MOTB. Okay. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, which has been being done by the prophets as we speak. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, that's the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So when he returns, he's going to destroy everything in which this man is set up, because Psalms 49 and 11, he says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. That's their inward thought, but that's they're sadly mistaken. They're delusional to think that with all the evil and wickedness that you've done, that you're going to continue on forever, and that's a prideful way of thinking. And that's why the Lord hates pride. So he's going to take that down, that thought, that mindset, and everything that's attached to Esau Edom. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders. So, with his technology, everything that he's pushing, his works are after the works of Satan, is to deceive and deceive the nations, to kill, to destroy, everything that's contrary to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. He says, and with all deceivableness, of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So there's going to be those who's going to side with Esau Edom, even to this very day. They're believing in what he's pushing in his ideology, the things in which he's putting out into the world. However, through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he has elect, starting with the 144,000 men who will be standing up in these last days, those that are alive, and of course those who may have passed on. But in the end, it'll be 144,000 men that's that he's going to use along with the holy angels to take back this kingdom. Let's get this, and then we'll end there. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 18. It says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess it, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever." So all these things in which they're doing, when Yahweh Shah returns, he's going to turn it upside down. He's going to completely destroy it, and it's going to be set a new rulership, which is Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and the saints, which are the children of Israel. So I hope that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting unto the body. Before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say, Shalom.